Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake, and what we're going to make are cinnamon roll cookies. Now these particular cookies are probably the easiest ones that I've ever made because they're actually made with a cookie or a sugar cookie mix. Somebody wrote recently and said, would I make a recipe of cookies out of a cookie mix? And this is exactly what I have here. This is just, you can get whatever brand that you want. It's a sugar cookie mix out of a box. I just went ahead and put it in the bowl. It generally weighs 17.5 ounces. A lot of times you'll see them sold actually in pouches of this sugar cookie mix, okay? So I'm going to first put that into my mixer. Again, that was 17.5 ounces of sugar cookie mix. And then you're also going to be needing a half a cup of butter. Now you can also use margarine if you prefer. I cut it up into small pieces. It has been at room temperature, so it's very softened. And you're also going to be putting in flour. And you're going to need a quarter cup of all-purpose flour. And you're going to put that just right in the bowl. Your mixing bowl, I should say. And the last thing that you're going to put in is one egg that's been at room temperature. And now you're just going to, now if you want to use your hand mixer, that's fine. I find that the stand-up is a lot easier for me. And then just start mixing it on low, and then you're going to gradually raise your speed. Now as you raise your speed, it's going to start to make a cookie dough or a mound or a ball. And at first it really looks like you've done something wrong because it just looks dry and crumbly. But if you stay with it and then raise your speed up a little bit, just as I am, it'll start to form that mound of cookie dough. Now it might take you a few minutes to do that. I've raised my speed up once again, but it really will come together. So it, you know, it might take you a minute or two or that type of thing. Once it starts to make it really crumbly, I'll show you what it looks like. When it looks really crumbly like that, that's when it's almost ready to just come together the way you want it. Just play with your speeds on your mixer so you get that big cookie dough that you want, that big mound. I'm going to raise my speed a little bit more. Now it's really coming together. You see that it cleans the sides of your mixing bowl, you're going to know it's time to get it out of there. And I'll show you what that looks like. I just want to get my paddle out of there. And we'll set this aside. And then you just bring it all together like that. And you have that nice big mound of cookie dough. Now you're going to put some flour on your countertop or board or whatever you're using. And just, you want to roll that out. You don't want to put a lot of flour, just so it doesn't stick to your hands or to the board. And then you want to roll it out to a rectangle. Now this dough will be a little soft to work with. But when if it breaks up, you can just, you know, reform it with your hands by pinching it together. And you'll want to make, if you can, a rectangle out of it. And you want it to be about a quarter inch in thickness. And as I said, it will be soft and it will break up a little bit, as you can see. It is with mine, just a little bit. So, but you can repair it. Let me get that out of your way so you can see. And then I'm just going to even everything out with my my fingers here. Okay. And then I'm just going to quickly measure it. It doesn't have to be exact, but you might want to know this, so that's why I'm going to get my tape measure out just to give you an idea. Okay, it's, I measured it out to 11 inches by, I have about 12.5 inches of a rectangle, okay? The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to melt about a tablespoon of butter or margarine in your microwave, and then you're just going to brush that butter all over the top of this, and you want to get almost to the edge but not quite to the edge, and you should have enough to cover it. Okay, just like that. Just cover the whole top up, and we're done with that. And then you're going to be needing 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. And then with my spoon, I'm just going to stir that and bring it together till it becomes cinnamon and sugar. And then we're going to sprinkle this all over the top of this. So then just try to do that as evenly as you can. You don't have to go right to the edge, but go as close as you can without going over. And just sprinkle that on top. You'll want to use it all up. It looks like a lot, but you want to use all of this mixture on the top. So just, you know, as I said, just put it on as equally all throughout the top of this cookie dough. All right, and then what you're going to do is you're going to start on the long end and start rolling. Now this is where it might start to break up a little bit. So just start to roll it in a jelly roll style. And just tighten up the roll as you continue to turn it over. If the dough rips a little bit, just take your fingers and push it back together, because it will happen. You can actually also use a knife. I like to use a knife and just keep rolling it by sticking the knife under. And that way it tends not to break for you. And I do that till it's completely rolled. Till it's all rolled up. Let's see if I can do it without my knife. All right till you get the end. And then you'll just want to seal off the edges over here. Just pinch them with your fingers and seal them. Okay, and then try to even it out as best as you can, like that. And then the next thing that you'll want to do is you'll want a piece of plastic wrap to wrap that cookie roll up. Make sure you seal the bottom, and that's just by pinching with your fingers. Lay that down onto the plastic. And then you're going to put this in your freezer for anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. You don't want to freeze it, but you do want it nice and chilled. So we'll put that aside, and I'll put that in the freezer in a little bit. Now I have one to show you that I've had in the freezer, and then I put it in the refrigerator till now. And this one is half the size. In other words, this has been cut in half, as you can see. Okay? And then what I like to do is, I have to find my string here. I had a string and now I don't see it anymore. So let me grab a piece of string. Now you can, sorry about that, I don't know what happened to it, but anyway, you can use a sharp knife for this. I like to use string. And then of course you're going to need a cookie tray. I lightly spray mine with an oil spray, or you can use parchment paper, whatever you like or whatever you have in the house. And then with a piece of string, I just put it underneath the log, and I usually cut them about a little less than a ½ inch. You just place them on your cookie tray. Now you want to put them about 2 inches apart. You're going to bake them at 375 degrees, and they're going to take you anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes. So do start checking them. I like to start checking mine around 9 minutes or so, because as we do know, all our ovens set up so differently. And again, you can see by just using the thread, all I've done is just I crisscross it like that, and then I just pull on the string. And then the cookies don't seem to fall apart. I find that cutting them with the string is just, it's easier for me than a knife. And then just place them on your cookie tray like that. And then if you think that they're not round enough, you can just take your fingers and round them off a little bit like that, okay? Now what you'll want to do though is once they come out of the oven and they're hot, let them stay on the tray for just the cookie tray just for a few minutes before you transfer them to a cooling rack. I'm going to rinse my hands quickly here because I was handling raw egg there, okay? And I want to show you what they bake up and they look like. And this is how they turn out. They really look like little cinnamon rolls, and yet they're cookies. They'll be a fairly light golden brown on the top, a nice medium brown on the bottom. And what you do is after is just take a little powdered sugar, about 3/4 cup of powdered sugar and 1 tablespoon of milk, and make an icing or a drizzle, and that's what really makes them look like little cinnamon rolls, and here they're really just cookies. I'm going to break one open to show you, and they're very moist. They're not a real dry, crisp cookie, but they're not extreme, real moist either. They're really right in between. You have a nice crisp bottom, but you have a semi-moist inside. And they just are fun to make, very easy to put together within no time at all, and they're a great little cookie with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. So there you have it. You've got cinnamon roll cookies made by a box of sugar cookie mix. Well, that's it for me today. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to leave a comment, if you baked them and you tried them and you liked them, well, let me hear from you. Thanks again for watching Diane Lovetobake. I'll see you soon.